Because I want the Syndicate's role in general in the first story to kind of be a mixed bag as well. It's like you could tell they kind of do support the Warlocks here, but at the same time, you know, they definitely have their own agenda, which will need to be discovered as well, which will be a large point in any follow-up stories that eventually, you know, inevitably don't happen.
So, Triton, is it as we thought?
That obviously, you know, the first story here is at least, you know, about discovering the threat and whatever, and then, you know, dealing with the aftermath of it and trying to survive it. Second story will be kind of like taking action. Now the druids, the old druids as we know them now, or the warlocks as they will go by with the order, they will, you know, be a threat, but they won't be as big of a threat as, you know, they were in the original Osiris stories. That role really kind of goes to the Syndicate and to Eris at the moment, because we'll have a split between the order. Obviously, we'll have Philippe kind of turn his back on his work with the order and just wants to have his daughter back because now that he knows Robin's alive. Helen will kind of go off the deep end and kind of replace Philippe in the Syndicate work, which will kind of make the Syndicate go into overdrive, which likely will be maybe what where Duncan drops out, seeing what it's turning into, and that might also be kind of what entices Carter, like initially, huh? Well, they're doing good business, aren't they? Holy shit, they stepped up their game. I like this. More of this, please. It's like, Carter, they're still enemies. No, we can learn from this.
No. We can.
There it is.
We can get some money out of this, and actually, and defeat them with their own money.
And, you know, at the end of the second story, you know, we'll probably have defeated Eris, leaving only the Syndicate standing, with likely Helen still sailing at the helm of it. So, I mean, the third story, you know, that's all about, you know, war with the Syndicate, basically, you know, eradicating them. There's a full-on, that is just full-on a Templar versus Assassin type conflict that's going on there. But a little bit more total war, basically. You know, the world's in shit at the moment. I mean, throughout the first story, you know, the world is gonna slowly kind of fade and be, you know, be infected basically by this. No, but it's not really a virus or a sickness, but it's definitely something like that. It's a little more magical in nature. It'll start something that'll be called the Dark Winter, basically, which is just this endless, you know, fucking winter. Kind of like a new Ice Age, but a little bit less intense. You know, it won't instantly kill you if you go outside, unless it goes too far, which we'll have to try to prevent. And, you know, and in the third story, I mean, the world has been shattered to such a degree that, you know, resources are, you know, becoming more and more scarce. Mines are frozen over, shit's frozen over. You can't really get to anywhere. Food is becoming a critical component. You know, power outages are everywhere. Kind of governments are falling like bricks left and right, and it's kind of just turning into like almost an anarchy planet. And the remaining structures, the remaining groups, they have to find a way to deal with this somehow. And of course, the assassins will be at the forefront of that fight because they at least know what's going on. While, you know, the governments of the world are busy blaming each other. At least we know what's going on here. And the Syndicate is clearly, you know, misdirecting the world here, trying to, you know, take as much advantage of this as you can possibly get. Which, you know, it works out really well for them. They are doing extremely well. And Carter will at least keep the assassins off his back for a while when he takes over the Syndicate, because he'll be really smart about this initially. Because he'll direct the Syndicate's resources to help, you know, at least, you know, get the planet back under control. At least that's what he portrays it as. But in doing so, he puts agents in very, you know, key areas. Like, obviously the governments of the world are kind of in the shitter right now, so he makes sure his people are the ones that are in there and in everything. So when the world kind of does recover, the Syndicate is in every single fucking thing. Like, he basically almost controls the world at that point. He has so much influence, it's insane. And that's kind of where Carter really goes off the deep end. Like, he has this massive fucking amount of power over the world, and the motherfucker can't help himself.
Engaging recovery mode.
Yep.
Standby.
Which is when the assassins will be back on his ass. And you know, obviously he has his own daughters now, his twinsies. One of which is going to escape, the other one will stay. And I want to ask what their names are going to be. I feel like I already know.
How do you mean?
What are the names of the twins going to be?
Cassandra.
Yeah, that's one.
You saw the one coming. And let's do Sophia as like an ode to her in that regard for like his side of view.
Yeah.
And then let's
imagine having that conversation with your wife. Like, hey, I'm gonna name my daughter after my ex, if you don't mind. Obviously, given the context, you know, it's probably not that much of a problem there. Honestly.
Crystal and Triton do not disappoint. We must hurry.
So yeah, Cassandra and Sophia. Yeah, fuck you, Amy. You don't get to be on it.
No, but like, you know, Sophia was like the first one.
Yeah.
Welcome back to another.
She is
Sophia did get absolutely destroyed, going down screaming and crying. I mean, yeah, you kind of.
She started it all.
Yeah. So of course, let's just slap Carter in the face and say that Sophia is the one that leads.
Oh yeah, no, I literally wanted to say that already.
Yeah. Let's just, you know, kick him in the dick a bit. You know, Sophia's the one that leads. Cassandra's the one that stays.
In response, Black Bolt has assembled his family members to free the city
Good
and
shit.
take back his throne. My source told me it was difficult for Black Bolt to rally the royals with a rousing speech due to the ludicrously destructive power of his voice. But with a few frowns and mimes, they soon got the message.
After this level, I'm 2/3 through the game.
Maximus has no doubt.
So there's a new update for Cat Medical coming up. And I don't really care about most of it, but someone said it in the chat for the 101st, is that they will now have the ability to put tourniquets on people's necks.
You know he cannot speak.
I can foresee shenanigans happening as it is.
Right.
A lot of people are gonna end up with a surprise tourniquet on their neck. Apparently it's something that does happen in real life, like it's supposed to prevent you from choking on vomit. Honestly, I think it's preventing you from choking on anything, because it's just gonna choke you instead.
Surely you didn't assume I was just going to let you walk in through the front entrance.
Like, we're gonna kill you so you don't get killed by something else. Huh?
Find you,
What?
I swear.
Oh, how exciting! But first, I'd like to welcome you to my very own
Some
chamber
shit
of
faces
devices.
having his
I
bike
wish
again
I
out
could
here.
be there to give you all a guided tour, but being a king is
And you know how
such
bikes you are.
time-consuming work, right,
Loud as fuck.
That and probably powered up to be faster than they're actually allowed to go.
Yeah, I don't think there's like a speed limit on how fast bikes and cars are actually allowed to go. There's definitely speed limits on how fast you're allowed to take them, but I don't think, you know...
No,
there's
but
an
like,
actual
I
limit.
mean like modified. To
Yeah,
be
yeah,
like,
but, you know, as long as they I mean, we know that he's not, you know, keeping to the speed limit. But if he were to do that, it doesn't really matter how fucked up his bike is. The same with cars. That you can buy some fucking really crazy modified cars out there that just feel like they should be illegal, but they're not. There's not actually a law for that.
no, but this is just too much noise.
Yeah.
This thing should be taken into a garage and just be torn apart and then just be dumped into the side of the road. Well, dumped into the sea, technically.
You know, a little bit bad for the fish, but yeah, I get it.
Not my problem.
Well.
And that fucker just keeps staying there. Get your entire bike and face blown up, please.
I mean, I don't really know exactly. What I've always. I mean, I'm not really much of a bike person anyway. Like, I don't think I would really, I'll probably maybe get my license one day just for the fuck of it. But I don't think I'm ever really going to be like one of those guys that's sees a bike drive by, stops and goes, "Wow, look at that! Holy shit! That's this specific bike, this model." The way I do about cars. But when like a really loud bike shows up, just kind of annoys me more than anything else. Like I can't tolerate loud bikes the way I can tolerate loud fucking cars. Somehow, even though they might just be just as loud, I can tolerate the car more than the bike somehow. Because one, the cars tend to sound nicer, just the way it is. And if it's a nice sounding loud sound, not that much of a problem. And if it's a really good looking thing where the sound comes out of, I can appreciate it a bit more. And in bikes, I just don't find to be all that exciting looking, not gonna lie.
Yep. It finally fucked off, but you could literally hear it revving up and like fucking off.
Yeah, you can sort of hear him echo away. Piece of shit.
Yeah, I really have to just keep this in mind for like when I'm editing number 13.
There you go.
Not being able to use this is such a royal pain.
But yeah, I mean, I'm not a fan of overly loud things anyway, but sometimes, sometimes it's tolerable.
Yeah, fair. Oh, they fucked with the AI so much in comparison to other LEGO games.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, there's an AI dog star. Oh, there we go. Now I was able to actually access it. It normally is supposed to just go via the way it can, like back to the rest of the group. If you switch over, that didn't happen. It would just stand there at the door.
Boy, Lockjaw. Who's a good dog?
Fair enough.
Even though there is clearly a way he could have come back via here.
Should you wish to leave,
It's
you'll
like,
find the exit located in the ceiling.
should have just used
behind
that.
an impenetrable Ecotech vibranium door. Good
Because that's how older LEGO games did it.
We're related to him?
Mm-hmm.
Something isn't right. Why would Maximus
Oh,
tell
I
us
do
how to
have an
get out of
update
here?
on the whole
Unless it's a trap.
girl that wanted to get her stuff back
However,
situation.
I suppose we've little choice.
Right now, she's being harassed by the guy and his whole family on the phone. Being bullied.
What?
Yeah. Didn't really know how to react to that one either. Just listening to this going, huh? But what the fuck? It's not as if we're asking for this impossible thing here. Why does this have to be so difficult? Why do you have to what? And we're theorizing right now that the guy, the ex, must have like really, just basically told some weird ass fucking stories about her to the family, kind of lied, made shit up. Because I just don't see a reason as to why the family is reacting the way they do. Otherwise,
That left me feeling a little.
every conversation they've had, she's been really nice, very calm. And just, hey, I just want to have my stuff back. It's been about a year. We're not asking for anything overly weird here. I don't think we're not asking them to bend over backwards or sell off their firstborn cat or whatever. We just want to have their own property back. But I mean, what in the fuck is wrong with these people, dude?
Way too much.
Yeah, I mean, clearly crazy once in the fucking family there. Jesus. So yeah, that train wreck is still ongoing, so that's great.
Get me out of here!
I've also maybe done an oopsie.
Hey,
And when
give
I
me
say
a
maybe,
hand,
I
will
mean
ya?
definitely.
Why?
So the girl I'm talking about here, I've sent her like some of my old writing. To, you know, she was interested. I was like, yeah, fair enough. I mean, I did write it so that people could eventually, you know, read it or some shit. Kind of cool. And at first sent her the
I'm all
fantasy
over
story
this
because that
game.
just ends up always
At
being
what
the story I
point
sent
do
first.
Stop being a cameo and start being a
I think this is the one I'm kind of like the
Excelsior.
proudest of because it's in its concept. It's vastly different from anything I've done previously or after even. And the reception on that one was pretty good. Continually trying to bend me over to continue it, and I'm considering it, but it's going to be a very long-term plan. And I have now sent her the I don't remember the name, but basically the spin-off of the fantasy story, the original pilot story that I did, the one that lasted for like forever. I think I had, yeah, Act 1 was completely finished, which was about 10 chapters, and then Act 2 had another 8 chapters in it. So it's a long-running story, that one. And I sent her this, it's like, you know, I mean, this one is, I gave her a little spiel about, you know, what to expect. You know, it's kind of in the same world. A lot of the characters are kind of the same-ish, because I wanted to experiment with not just what would the world look like in the basically a couple of 100 years in the future, but also what would these characters be if they had grown up in this other time and space. And she's like, okay, sounds interesting, cool. I warned her, like, hey, it's gonna be full of nerdy airplane shit. I mean, just be careful. You know, don't make your brain melt. And she's like, yeah, no, don't worry, that's fine. So I went about my work, and then later in the day, I had this heart-stopping moment that made me almost die. Because I remember there was a sex scene in there. I went, oh shit. Oh fuck. Now it was very mild if you compare it to other similar scenes that are in actual books. But even then, it's like, oh god, I was actually every time I reread that chapter, I could not read that scene. I just skimmed over it. It's like, I'm not doing this to me. No, I'm not skipping over this. What the fuck? And I have not heard a comment on the story since, because she's a very quick reader. I think she read the fantasy story in like one night. Mostly because it's just a couple of chapters, so it's believable. And I think this one she could probably have finished by now too. And she said, you know, we'll talk about it tomorrow when we go to the movie. And I go, oh shit. Oh god, I'm gonna get it now. Like, what the fuck, you weirdo? I mean, at least you read the story and then invited me to see a movie. So, you know, it must have not been that bad, but still. Probably gonna get some comments and have to have some explaining to do, I bet. Like, what the fuck were you thinking there? It's like, well, not much, evidently.
Yeah, fair.
I mean, honestly, I don't think much most of the time anyway. I've kind of got... Especially when I'm at work, I just tend to kind of just turn my brain off. I go into kind of like power saving mode for the most of the day. Kind of airplane mode sometimes. So I just kind of, you know, send shit and say shit I don't really think about. So when I had this heart-stopping holy fuck moment, I really felt it. I was wide awake then. Holy hell. So first I'll see, you know, John Wick kicking ass on the screen, and then I'll probably get my ass kicked after it. Just for good measure. When when I went to the Mario movie, I kind of, because it's been a good fucking while since I've gone to the cinema, and I kind of remembered how nice cinemas are. They've got this really weird, you got this really weird cozy feeling the moment you walk in. Like the smell, the sitting experience, the food. I love that fucking cinema popcorn. It's good shit.
It does.
Good fucking shit. something that I always hear people complain about, but I always really liked somehow, is watching the fucking
Teach him to make a
like the
game
little
our
startup
throne.
movies, little ads and shit before the movie actually starts. Somehow I always like those. Little fucking stupid intros. Little goddamn jingles that here when you get that little memo. It's like, hey, you asshole, turn off your phone. And of course,
We're
nobody
going to
listens to
need
that shit.
something
Everyone keeps the
loud
phone
to
on.
break this.
Perhaps
Yeah, of
just
course.
the tiniest
I mean, I was on my
of
phone
whispers,
texting
husband?
the moment I saw that. I was like, hey, look at this. I was taking a picture of it with a fucking flash on. You know, go fuck all these people. But yeah, good shit. So yeah, I'm going back tomorrow, which is great.
I still remember the last time I went to the cinema.
For which movie was that?
Ready Player One.
Holy shit, that was a while ago.
Yep.
Goddamn.
That genuinely was the last time.
Wow, I mean, such a good movie. I mean, it wasn't a good movie, and it was a good movie at the same time.
Yeah, the book is vastly different.
Yeah. The thing is, if you go in not having read the book, it's a good movie. If you go in having read the book, you're a little bit disappointed.
Yeah. It's well, you know, I own the book, so yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I always just really loved the concept of that movie, honestly. It kind of kept it alive for me. Of course, it was reference central during the movie itself, but yeah, that was expectable.
I mean, yeah.
But at least the concept of the story itself, you know, was pretty interesting. There was a lot you could do with that. I mean, hell, I attempted to make a story like that right after. Didn't last long, clearly.
Well, I mean, it's one of your stories. What do we expect?
No, nothing really.
That shit to
See if I
last
can-
long?
See if I can maybe find it. I'm not sure if I even have it anymore. I don't think so. I think this story may have gone the way of the dinosaur, honestly.
Let me check my Google Drive. Because you might have actually put it on my drive. With the rest of the stories.
Possibly.
I've seen you do that a couple of times before, so that's...
Yeah, I mean,
I can guess.
I've mostly just switched to my own drive by now, but this must have been prior to that change.
This is like 5 or 6 years ago, so...
Verhalen CSP. Jesus. Dunk. Well, it's not in there.
Nah, it might be in my folder.
Yeah.
Because you did technically also
Is
put
it so
quite some in
wrong
there.
that I want to rule Attilan?
I mean, I think the
I'm
main
a
folder
very
is kind of
clever person
relatively
with a
new.
strong ambition and excellent
English.
No, that one was
skills.
Holy
very-
shit.
People skills? You've locked your own family in this miserable place.
Yes.
Strange
yes,
personality.
I admit, I'm
Oh.
not perfect.
That was mine, I think.
Must have been. Star Wars story in there somehow. Nice.
That must have been yours.
I think so, yeah.
I mean, considering I don't do anything Star Wars related, so...
Yeah, I mean, fair. Ooh, the Osiris, like the... I tried to do Osiris with fucking Max at some point. That was pretty cool. Wait,
You've tried XCOM Osiris as well.
Bad hair day.
yeah.
Perhaps this is something I'm able to help with.
And I think I fucking tried Osiris with everything at this point. You won't even be surprised if I tried to merge Osiris with fucking Ready Player One.
I cannot use this.
Yeah, I think you were trying
I
to
feel
do
like the
something like
proverbial
that.
fish out of water.
There we go. Very, very predictable. No shit. Ah, I have uncovered the master story for them.
Having much luck. I
Jesus
didn't
Christ.
expect you to get this far.
What?
Talk about being a royal
No, I
queen.
just
Let's hurry up
went
and find
head
a way out of
first
here.
into the name of your first story. That
you mean,
string of letters and numbers, yeah.
Yeah, but that is still up for change. Like, that is still just... basically, like, most things that are in the folder that you actually can't access. Because it's in a completely different folder on the drive to begin with. It's not even in that sequence of folders.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's the thing that I still work on. Just very behind the scenes.
Yeah.
But that's like the result of everything so far at that point.
There. The way should be clear now.
Everything that I want people to be allowed to see.
Fair enough. But yeah, I can't seem to find it. It's either very hidden or not even there anymore.
We were already using Discord at the time, so...
Finally.
It might be in
This
Discord
looks like our
somewhere.
way out of here.
Now to find Maximus.
Welcome, family, to the court of Maximus the Great.
You're nothing but a Creed puppet, a pale reflection of your brother.
Really? And who failed to prevent Kang dragging our city here? Ronan and his Kree have a Nexus shard. With our combined forces, we will crush Kang.
Get off my husband's throne.
Husbands? Oh, no, no, no. This throne is very much.
There's nothing like opening up the original Osiris folder and just seeing many subfolders.
Yeah, for every different version we've tried.
The people of
Not a
Bethlehem
single one
will be
succeeded.
safer under my protection.
Well, technically the first
Why
one did.
can't anyone see this?
Yeah, that's also the one that actually got the
The,
photos.
the original, yeah.
Please, don't do this.
You'll see. My little friends here will make you see. Get them.
Bunch of classics, this.
Ooh, this is actually quite fun.
Another story I was never able to recover is the original Dark Days story that I wrote.
I don't understand.
So I think I only kept that one on the website I was on, and well, that got sent into the Shadow Realm.
Family that treated
Oh yeah,
us
no,
so
the original Osiris page also.
better than any of you.
Yeah.
Like all of that is gone.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm glad I have...
That was a big shame, because I really did like that one, but... Oh well.
Yeah. What was that? You damaged it? Now I'm beginning to get rather cross.
Please. We don't want to hurt you, Maximus.
Oh, don't worry. You won't.
Come on, we'll pull your legs apart. And we'll destroy them, just like the entirety of this robot's body.
Is that how you talk to Amy and Sophia too? Come on, just pull your legs apart. Just fucking do it.
Oh,
No wonder fucking Sophia just decided to die.
Try and
She
stop
probably
me
looked at
now.
Eris and went,
He's
please.
raised some kind of
Anything
shield.
but this.
We won't be able to get close enough to attack.
There must be a way to redirect
Amy
the flow
probably
of
just
power.
fucking commits suicide, honestly. She's like, I'm done with this bullshit.
Alright, I got the robot bitch. Die.
No!
There we go.
No, no, no!
I do miss all of my old website stories because it was kind of funny going back to them occasionally and dying internally. Because Jesus shit, I was not a good writer when I first started. Holy hell!
I mean, who
My
was?
first fucking scripting experience. That was nice.
Oh right, when you started with.
That was honestly more difficult to write than an actual story.
What's happening? Everything feels strange.
Maximus. He's managed to
Oh
affect the
yeah,
surrounding gravity.
I can't imagine
can't
that
attack.
doing it that way again. Holy shit!
Some way to reach him.
Part of me thought, yeah, this would be easier. It wasn't. And I always liked the early stories as well, because that's kind of when, especially when you first start being a writer, yeah, you really just don't think about it when you're writing. You just do the most creative shit you're possibly capable of coming up with, and the stories just take fucking turns, dude. It's like, what the hell is going on here? And only later is when you actually start about, okay, what's logical, what makes sense, what are consequences here, what would people logically say in real life. See, early on, all of your characters kind of sound like they're reading from a script. Like okay, Duncan, you can help me, right? You can write a little chapter for Osiris. And I went, okay, prison, mass riot, syndicate, here we go. Oh yeah, let's murder Kenneth with a car door.
Yeah, that all happened. Yeah, I kind of remember that. Yeah.
It's like, okay, you're giving me all this freedom to do what I want with your IP, basically. How do I abuse the shit out of it? It's like, okay, I'm gonna not go completely crazy with this, and then Duncan went completely crazy with it. But oddly enough, the syndicate does still survive to this day, so I'll count it. It was a good idea. Only Domino hasn't really made a return yet. I'll probably have to figure that out.
Yep.
That's a character with a lot of potential that was kind of left by the
Thrown
wayside.
to shit.
Mostly because there were just a lot of similarities between herself and Robin. I think Robin was supposed to be kind of a straight up replica, or like a sequel to Domino, as opposed to two different people. And I mean, Robin herself had a fucking massive change over most of the stories. I mean, I think she showed up in the Pursuit first more than anything else. Just as this random racer girl that you meet at the start. And that was about it. It's about the extent of her backstory, which I eventually turned into her just being this really weird fucking magical witch anomaly girl. And then, yeah, that sounds believable. And I'm still doing that to this day, so fuck it, good idea.
Come now, brother.
Fucking stuck around.
Fair.
So yeah.
Well said, my love.
I mean, the whole Osiris trend is also still a thing, so yeah, that one stuck around.
My honor, sister.
Most of the characters survived. I think the only real Osiris character that was kind of just frozen in time and eventually killed was fucking Elena. I don't think she ever made a comeback.
No. There are more.
I mean, yeah, she's like the real, Osiris regular. OG.
Ed?
Yeah, but I don't really care about that.
Stella from the first half of the first story.
Yeah.
Who was the other one I dragged in during the second story?
Excelsior!
Uh-huh.
I dragged like Helen's little helper, quote unquote, in, but like I don't know what they were called again.
And its little helper. Oh. Santa's little helper made it in.